What's going on, bro? Welcome to the video. If you are new here, I go by the name of David Esparza, aka David Gaines, and we are basically on the journey to becoming a profitable day trader, as well as the best versions of ourselves in every aspect of our life. So if you are new here, hit that subscribe button. Um, Follow along for the journey. But essentially, what I've been doing lately is pretty much just breaking down my trade breakdowns that I take in the market. Um, and because we have developed our new strategy, and essentially it's just a combination of two strategies that I learned from two different mentors, and I basically you know found it, like, took the stuff that I learned from them and pretty much made it my own. So it's been working out pretty good in the market. So basically, just want to show you guys what I take and why I took them. And at the end of the video, I'm going to talk about why trading psychology is so important. So this week we were on a funded account, so we are essentially putting risk and money on the line. The last two Yeah, I think the last week or so I was on paper doing like demo trading, so no risk at all. So that is essentially why I want to talk about why trading psychology in the markets is so important, because it's you versus you at the end of the day. So your mind will manipulate you, and if it does, you will get manipulated in the market if you are not able to control your mind. So go ahead and break down the trades for this week. So coming into Monday, we were at all-time highs. We only trade the NASDAQ. So, first one here was basically a continuation to the upside. So basically what I see, or what I saw in the market, was this big leg up right here. And then we had like this little doji candle, and then as far as the next candles start opening up, they start displacing. But it's right before market opens, so it's kind of a bit risky to take this trade. But that was one of the trade ideas that came up into my head, just to target this Asia high right here, as you can see. But on the other side, as you can see, I had London marked out as well. But uh, clear continuation day. This was the first day on the live account, so I was very hesitant to enter a trade, because obviously you're playing with real money now. So, but since it's on a funded account, evaluation, it's really not real money anyways. But this is, like I said, this is why trading psychology is so important and why you need to work on it. So essentially what we saw was continue leg up, and then a doji, and then this right here would have been my entry as well. As soon as I seen this displacement candle go above the uh, draw on liquidity, which was the London high. So essentially what you're looking for on this day was a big move up, a retrace, and then displacement back up in the direction that it wants to go to. So if you traded this day, you could essentially call it like 200 points, but we're really just trying to catch, anywhere between 30 and 50 points on this day. So, clear continuation. I don't know why I hesitated to even press the button on buys. It was clear as day, but it is what it is. Learning experience. Every single time you take a win, a loss, or you don't trade at all. So you just gotta, this is why you're so important to journal as well, because you're collecting data and you can see where you went wrong, why you didn't take the trade, why you did, or why you didn't, right? So that was Monday. So, pretty easy day. But we did not end up trading, right? So, and then second day ended up, hold on, let me see if that's the right day. Nope, that's not the right day. So second day we did have Powell speaking and Trump speaking. So what did I do? I traded, right? So so obviously, Monday didn't take a trade. It felt like I had to take a trade on this Tuesday for some reason, and I paid the price. But essentially it was pretty easy to read as well. So um, had the draws and liquidity marked out, but we did not have any other draw and liquidity that we were, heading towards. So that's why it was kind of hard to kind of read what was going on. So basically, what I was seeing, I wanted to see price move down because we were at all-time highs. So essentially, on the higher time frame, you have to, in order for you to continue up, you do have to go back down to rebalance to continue back up, right? So I was looking for that, so I was bearish on this day, and essentially my trade idea would have played out if I would have put my stops in the right position. So coming into market open, we start displacing below this drawn liquidity off of this displacement candle. So I saw this rebalance back into the displacement candle, pretty much entered a little bit late. And then the stops, I did put them above that wick high of that displacement candle because I did not want to see price go back up there. But essentially, it should have been above the displacement candle there. A little bit wider of a stop, but then as you can see, we just chopped around all the way until Powell speaking. And then on this day, if you go back into it, completely just dumped, right? So, it is what it is. Kind of forced to trade, kind of knew it was going to do this. Um, just overall bad execution, bad psychology. Uh, Journaled it and, moved on to the next day, right? So, trade, like I said, ended up playing out, but then again, it was just, I should have just stepped away. Um, and then going into Wednesday, we did have a good trade here as well. So, pretty good day after Tuesdays. So, we did have a whole bunch of draws on liquidity mapped out where I wanted price to go to and hit. So, right at market open, we saw manipulation plus displacement, a rebalance. Pretty much entered off the rebalance, heading towards the nearest draw liquidity. My stops were kind of wide here, but I, ended up moving them after I saw like the displacement happening. So essentially, we caught like 40 something points, I think, something like that. Kind of a cooked RR, but uh, let's see. Actually, we caught 25 points on this day, my bad. And yeah, I ended up closing early, I believe, because we did meet one of the draws on liquidity, and I just kind of wanted to get out. I didn't really trust the trade, especially with my stops being that wide. I don't really like to have my stops 40 points or so. So yeah, we entered in, got out, and pretty much made our money back from what we lost at the previous day. So we're pretty much break even on this day. And then, yeah, that's pretty much what I saw. Just a continuation down, manipulation, displacement, heading towards these draws on liquidity. And then going into Thursday was another good trade, I believe. Yes. So basically, what did we see? We already had a continuation down past London lows. Obviously, a big leg up, a retrace, and then 4 moves down. So coming into market open, we clearly displaced above or below this internal draw on liquidity. So at that point, I kind of knew that price was going to head towards, the nearest draw on liquidity, and I didn't even map out the next one because I missed it. So um, essentially, I could have entered right after, like 5 minutes right after market open, had my stops above the displacement candle, and really just caught the move down. But I did enter a little bit late. I entered once I saw this candle start displacing. So my entry was like right around here and then caught 40 points down because I did ended up seeing a drawn liquidity that we were stopped out. So once I knew that and saw that, I just waited for it to get met, and then I just close position. Um, Pretty much, you know, it is what it is. And then at that draw liquidity, we ended up reversing, going up. So honestly, if I would have saw that too as well, you could have taken that, but you know, caught my points for the day, and we ended up. I think we're like 1,000 in profit on the eval here, so pretty good. Can't complain overall. Just good day or good week in the market. Since September has been pretty shit overall. Uh, Going into next week, we are in NFP. So NFP tends to be hit or miss. It's either really bad or really good. So you just play it by eye, show up to the markets every single day, and execute your trading plan, right? So those were my trades for the week. We also did paper trade on Friday, but Friday was just absolutely dog poop, and it's not really not going to be beneficial to show you guys, um, because I was just testing trade ideas, but it is what it is. But like I said, I just want to talk about trading psychology and why it's so important, because if you go into demo, there's no real emotions, because you're playing with fake money. So if you go into your funded account or your eval in that same mindset, you're going to be able to execute. And I honestly did not do that this week, because on Monday, if I would have been past the eval already onto the funded stage to make actual money, right? So why does it's kind of like you got to fix that mindset and have that mindset in order for you to execute on the charts and not be so worried about the outcome, not be so worried about, having a winning day or, losing a trade. What's really most important is following the rules that you have set in place, being disciplined, being consistent, not being greedy. You pretty much just want to turn all of your emotions off, right? That's what trading is all about, is just conquering yourself, conquering your mind, because as soon as you can really control your mind, you can really just execute the markets. You see your setup, you click the button without even hesitating, because you've seen it so many times and you know that it's going to go hit your TP. And that's something that I really need to work on myself. Um, and it's only going to come, with that market experience, you know, getting into those, like getting those reps in pretty much the same way that you do at the gym, reps on top of reps on top of reps. It's going to build that wisdom, it's going to build that experience, and you're overall just going to be a better trader, right? So that's why psychology is so important. Because you can have the best strategy in the world, but if you are not disciplined, you're not consistent, you're not confident, um, you fear, have FOMO, all greed, all these things that come with trading, you will never be a profitable day trader. You will never make the money that you want to make, and the markets will eat you alive, man. They'll humble you, and you know that's why psychology is so important. Um, that is why I've gotten into mentorships, because they've done the things that I want to do, and truly they have mastered their psychology, and that is why they're at the point to where they're at now, right? Making millions, printing hundreds of thousands of dollars every single month in the markets. And you know every trader has their journey, and it's just up to you to embrace the journey. Don't rush the process, because this is going to take time. It's going to take lots of amounts of hours and efforts and studying not only the charts but yourself, um, because that's going to be the most important. You're the one that's operating the system, and you need to be able to control yourself, and just trust in God's plan, man. So uh, if you guys are enjoying these videos, make sure you hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. I do enjoy making these for the trade breakdowns and everything, because I love documenting my trading journey, and just doing some other things in my life, just documenting my life, becoming the best possible version of myself. So if you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.